A lot of these healthcare grade disinfecting solutions can be fairly caustic to hard to clean devices, right? So it may
Yes.
be appropriate for the tabletops and the floors, but might have some adverse effects on some critical medical equipment. What is the solution?
Yeah, that's correct. So when you look at the manufacturers of these devices, their IFUs, right, their instructions for use and their cleaning guidelines really don't open you up a lot of times to a disinfectant that the hospital is standardized on in a department, right, to give them a good broad spectrum. If they're dealing with C. diff on a floor, they're dealing with a Candida auris, or they're dealing with MRSA or VRE, the list goes on and on. A lot of times, most of the times, the manufacturer's IFUs don't allow for those chemicals, especially the dwell time, to come in contact with that device. Therefore, you're looking at other technologies like UV, which is highly effective across a broad spectrum of organisms. And with UV, you can actually take a standardized approach. So you even have a leg up. You can be broad spectrum while at the same time having a standardized approach to disinfecting the organisms that have concern for us.
So we talk a lot about UV light on this show, and specifically UVC. We know that we've seen equipment that's been damaged by chemical cleaners in the hospital system. Now, UV can be damaging as well if it's not used appropriately.
Mhm.
Um, is UV an effective solution against Candida?
At this time, the data would suggest yes. I think more research is needed, but based upon some testing with surrogates, it would suggest that it would be effective. This is kind of the same scenario early on when we were looking at SARS-CoV-2.
Right.
We didn't have data right away with UV to suggest that for a fact we had efficacy, but we had surrogates that we certainly could say, well, based upon the reaction of that surrogate UV, we believe that it would be effective on SARS-CoV-2. Now the research has been published in peer review, and in fact, we know that UVC is highly effective against SARS-CoV-2. So